today another Master Artist lesson for Cycle 1 CC. So today we are going to do Michelangelo. Now, in the Master Artist lesson for CC, there is fresco painting or painting underneath the table, and I think those are super cute and clever, and I really like them. We have a lot of students who've already done that 1 or 2 times, and something else sort of just prompted my heart to do something different because I really wanted to honor what Michelangelo himself considered himself to be. He is famous for the Sistine Chapel, hence the painting underneath the table idea, which I think is super great. And tutors, my tutors, I may give you some papers to hand out to your students for something to do at home for that. Depends on my budget each year. This year I believe I have enough to go ahead and do that. So that will be in your email, or we will discuss that during the tutor meeting. But to demonstrate, what I want to do is I wanted to focus on sculpting. Because Michelangelo considered himself a sculptor first and foremost. It was his passion. He painted to pay the bills oftentimes, and because he was commissioned and he needed the money. But he loved sculpting, not that he did it for free, okay? But I really wanted to do sculpting for lots of reasons. And so that's why we're going to do it this time. And I'm going to demonstrate this sculpting lesson we're going to do. You will have this handout and this one to show your students and remind them this is out of marble. That Michelangelo was able to get this detail work. He was incredibly gifted by God with this skill to be able to do this. He worked long and hard, don't get me wrong. But he was a master, hence being a master artist. And the detail that he was able to do in marble, carving away marble. If I may get the quote wrong, if I do, I'll correct it in the notes on the video. But he would say that when he would be doing a piece, he would carve away everything that wasn't David or everything that wasn't Abraham. And I just think that's amazing. And while some people do clay and roll it and form it into a bust or things like that, I think that's wonderful. But I felt like I really wanted to convey and help the students understand the carving away of the other parts of the material to leave David or David's hand, or the Pieta, Mary and Jesus, Abraham, all of these incredible pieces. He didn't put together and roll and piece together. He carved out of marble. So we're going to sculpt, and we're going to do self-sculpting. The great thing about this project is the kids will have something to take home and can continue to work on it with minimal effort. One of the negatives of this project is it's really messy. So not that painting under a table isn't messy, but you will have a paper plate for each child. You also have butcher paper on the tables. The biggest reminder I want to give you is to make sure they keep their art on the table, because we don't need a bunch of soap shavings on the carpet at our host church, okay? All right, so let's get to sculpting. All right, I will give you templates for your students. I have measured them to be sure they fit the bars of soap, so you will have templates that work for the soap. Ivory and Jergens work best is what I have found, so I will be providing one of those. So the first thing the student will do is choose a template, whichever one, and then they will hold it on their soap and they will trace it. The youngest children may need help with that, okay? So I chose a fish to do today. So I'm tracing the outline of the fish into my soap, okay? So you can see the first step. We've used a template, okay? Now, this is going to sound not real, but we have already done these 2 examples for you. A butterfly, and my amazing daughter, Chloe, who's an artist. She's 17. She did a shark. Can you see how fantastic that is? It's really awesome. Okay, so I will give you 1 or 2 examples, tutors, to have in there to show the students. Because sometimes when we practice this with students, They couldn't quite get a grasp on it until we did one and showed it to them, and then they were like, oh, because they were just kind of drawing on the soap. So you'll have examples, and then you're not going to believe the tool that works, but it's a paper clip. So you will have a box of paper clips in the room, and this is mind-blowing. It's so fun. You just press down and through the soap. Can you believe that? So the student will slowly and surely, do you see, can you see that clip? Okay. See how the Q-tip, they're going to press straight down, and then they can, you see the shavings? They can smooth it out a little bit as they go. They're just going to do that all the way around where they have traced. Okay. And you can see already why I said it's messy. Okay. Because it is very messy. But can you imagine how much of a mess marble was? And those are some of the comments you can make with them. Now, the great thing about choosing the fish is I don't have to carve anything with it away. You can talk to them as they work about the dust and how much work it was and how much harder marble is to carve or sculpt. Okay. You can see it's not taking super long. I am going fast because I've done this before in practice and because I don't want your videos to be too long, tutors, because I love you. Okay, so you can see this is phase 1. I have carved quite a bit off already. Now, as you go along at this phase, when you see a student has a big pile, you can ask a mom for help to take this, go ahead and dump it in the trash can and give them their plate back empty, okay, so that it makes it a little bit easier to keep working. So I'm gonna go dump this, just hang on, don't mind me, just keep looking at my playground. And here I come back, ta-da! All right, so it makes it a little bit easier to be able to put the soap down, okay? So the next phase that I would encourage you to do is erase the words on the soap. You'll have ivory or jerkins. Super easy way to do that is the flat part of the paper clip. Believe it or not, to me this is so funny and easy. Oh, it's gone, okay? So the next part, now, like I said, I'm hurrying because I've done this before and I want to move you along. But now they're going to just take their paper clip, I keep wanting to call it Q-tip, and smooth out. Can you see the roughness here? So then you're just going to smooth it out like that. You see how it's smoothing? And then my daughter Chloe said you can also just use your fingers and smooth it out. Okay. Now, this will be a more difficult task for the younger students because their fine motor skills are still really developing, but they can do it. We had a 4-year-old and she did fine. It was actually adorable. Did have to help her a little bit press down, but the moms can do that. Once you get going and you show them, the moms will know how to help. Now, for the older kids, the next phase is really making this a little bit more dimensional. So you can show them, they can tilt the paper clip and give this a little bit more on both sides. Instead of a just straight line fish, a little bit more curved, okay? Can you see how it's changing? All right, and same thing with the tail. Okay, I am not an artist, but this is turning out, and my butterfly was really fun. wait, I shouldn't say I'm an artist, right? So we don't say that in front of our students. Everyone's an artist. I am not a super skilled or practiced artist, but this project is still very satisfactory. It feels really nice to see this piece turn into a fish. So then the last phase, and again, each one of you will be a little bit different with what phase of this project your students get to. Even if they go home with it like this, it's fantastic. And they can finish it at home because a paperclip is a super easy item to use. But they can also then at that point use their pencils or the cuticle sticks, which you will have, to do a few details. Okay, so that is the basic. I would keep doing this and playing with it if I was in class, but that is the basic self-sculpture in honor of Michelangelo that we're gonna do on our campus. Thank you, and I'll put notes on the video. Thanks.